There's something unsettling about the open road at night. The endless stretch of asphalt, the darkened sky, and the eerie silence can make even the most seasoned traveler uneasy. But what if I told you that sometimes, it's not just your imagination? Here are 3 disturbing highway horror stories that might just make you think twice before your next road trip. A lone trucker, driving through the backroads of Texas, spotted a young woman standing on the side of the road, her thumb outstretched in the universal sign of the hitchhiker. Despite the rules of the road, he couldn't leave her there alone. After all, the night was cold, and the road was deserted. She climbed into the cab, her face pale and her clothes drenched, as if she'd been caught in a storm. They drove in silence until she asked to be dropped off at the next town. But as the truck approached the town's edge, the trucker glanced over, only to find the seat beside him empty. Confused, he pulled over and checked the cabin, but she was nowhere to be found. The next morning, he recounted the tale to a local, only to be met with a knowing nod. The man told him of the legend, a young woman who had died in a car accident on that very stretch of road years ago. Some say she still haunts the highway, forever trying to make it home. A couple was driving late at night on a desolate highway in Nevada. The moonlit road was empty, and they hadn't seen another car for miles. Suddenly, headlights appeared in their rearview mirror, blinding and erratic, as if the driver behind them was in a hurry. The car swerved dangerously close to their bumper, honking and flashing its lights. The couple, terrified, tried to speed up, but the vehicle kept pace. When they finally reached a stretch of road with a sharp turn, they took it at breakneck speed, trying to lose the maniac behind them. But as they rounded the corner, the headlights vanished. Confused, they slowed down, peering into the darkness behind them. There was no sign of the car. It was as if it had never been there. Later, they learned that many drivers had reported similar encounters on that road, chased by a car that disappears without a trace, leaving only the memory of a near-death experience. A woman driving across the country alone decided to pull over at a rest stop late at night. She was exhausted and needed a break from the long drive. The rest stop was empty, and the silence was overwhelming as she parked her car under the flickering lights. As she sat in her car, trying to rest, she noticed a figure standing by the restroom building, barely visible in the shadows. She tried to convince herself it was just another traveler, but something felt off. The figure didn't move, didn't shift its stance, it just stood there, watching. Uneasy, she decided to drive on, but as she started her car, the figure began to approach her vehicle slowly, deliberately. Panicking, she sped out of the parking lot, not daring to look back. When she finally reached the next town, she told a local police officer about the incident. He told her she was lucky to have left when she did. There had been reports of a man preying on travelers at that rest stop, and some of those who stopped there had never been seen again. So, the next time you find yourself driving down a lonely highway at night, remember these stories. Sometimes, the most terrifying things aren't the bumps in the road, but the unexplained mysteries lurking in the darkness. Stay safe, and remember, some roads are better left untraveled.